Hey, welcome to the TMZ podcast. I'm Branson Quirk.
I'm Charlie Neff.
How are you, Charlie?
Doing pretty good. Been a busy Friday.
Yeah, we say that every single day.
I
It is
know.
busy. I know.
We could use a break.
I know. And we're never. And when it's not busy, we're never gonna admit it. So
I know.
You'll never hear that from us.
But even when it's slow, we're busy.
Right.
Because
exactly.
we had a break 4th of July weekend, and it was so busy because of Taylor's wedding. So yeah,
gosh,
no break for
so
me.
much. But I think we're finally out of the Taylor and Travis wedding bubble now.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
now we've officially entered into baby watch on that. So
Yeah, true.
so get ready for that. Yeah.
Woo, lucky us.
Pacifiers out for sure. All right, well, we're going to be covering a few topics today. This first one being very difficult to talk about. Nolan Wells, as we know, this has been a case that has just trumped the entire international. This is insane.
Crazy case.
And just reading all the details, we're at this point where it's like, what happened?
Totally.
And they're investigating it currently. TMZ has been all over this story.
Yep.
You included, Charlie. You've been on the story.
Yeah. So just to kind of catch you guys up, I'm sure you've heard the story about Nolan Wells at this point. So he was an 18-year-old black boy. That is relevant, and you'll see why. So he was on a boat. He went to this island off of Mississippi called Horn Island with a bunch of buddies, white boys. Again, relevant because Nolan Wells' family and Ben Crump, who is their attorney, is saying that this mix of friends was very strange because what ended up happening was he went missing. So what we know is the friends that were on the boat with Nolan Wells, they had claimed that Nolan was going to stay behind on the island before they went to the mainland to be with a girl. And the authorities talked to the girl who said, no, he said he was going back on the boat. Nobody knows what exactly happened and why Nolan stayed behind. But what we do know is he disappeared. And sometime later, his body was found. It was kind of said at the time that he drowned. His body had washed up on shore, and the family is just not buying that. So Ben Crump, the attorney for Nolan Wells family, is saying that the white boys on the boat could have culpability. He's also saying it's just very strange that none of the stories add up. He told us on TMZ Live a couple things just about how this case just isn't making sense to the family. And here's a little clip of that.
But let's start with cause of death. I know that you may not have a formal autopsy, but you have been looking at it, and it seems to me that is the starting point. Do you have any sense of how he died?
We don't want to speculate, Harvey, so we're going to investigate every aspect of why Nolan Wells is not with us today. We know that he was with his friends. They went out on Horn Island, as Charles said. He was the only black teenager that was there. And, all of them came back safely on the boat with his cell phone, Harvey. But Nolan's body was found washed up on the shore on Monday morning. And so his family is not accepting that it was an accidental drowning. They haven't been told anything, but that's been the suggestion. And they're not accepting that because Nolan was a college football player. He was a superior athlete. He was in great fitness and condition. And so, well, we got his phone, and he turns up dead.
Yeah, so this is very strange. I do want to point out, he mentioned that the phone, Nolan's phone, was left on the boat, and a lot of people were questioning, why was his phone on the boat? Like, you would think if you're going to be leaving, you would say, oh, his phone is here, let's give him his phone. But I actually spoke to somebody that was on the scene that said, when you go to this island, by the way, this is not like a Catalina Island. It's not like a Nantucket Island where there's a bunch of shops, there's a bunch of stores or restaurants. It's not like that. It's a very desolate island. So when you go to this island, there's no water, there's no stores, there's nothing. You just go, you tie up your boat. I was told it was very common to leave your phone on the boat and kind of walk out around like the sandbar.
Was this like a one-day endeavor, or was it a multi-day overnight
I
outing?
don't believe it was a multi-night outing. I believe it was a one day because this was 4th of July. So it's very common where, and keep in mind, these teens lived in Ocean Springs. That is on the coast of Mississippi. So to get to this island, it's like a 30-minute boat ride. Like it's a very quick, it's a very short distance. It's not like this was a whole like weekend affair where they drove out from Alabama, or it was a very close thing. This was a very common island that people in that area go to for, weekends or for events like this. So there is a viral video that has been circulating, and it's a video where you see people, on the boats partying at this desolate island. And the text on this video went viral because the text on this video said there was a fight, that this video was showing a fight, and that Nolan was involved in the fight. So I did some research, found out who took the video, and she had a completely different story. She said that she never posted the video and said there was a fight. So everyone's been saying like, oh, there was a fight, kind of insinuating that something happened where the friends abandoned Nolan because of an alleged argument. So the woman that took the video said that there was no argument when she took this video. She got on the boat, she took a video of the scene, Snapchatted it to her husband, and that was it. Went about her day, was very intoxicated. But she did say there was actually a fight an hour before she took this video, not something she captured, between two boat attendees. She doesn't know what the fight was about, but she was told that one of the people involved in this argument was a mixed race teenager, and there was a white teenager, and these two guys were going at it. She says Nolan was not involved in this fight. This fight that happened involved two totally different people. And we also spoke to somebody else that was friends of Nolan's on TMZ Live today, who also said that he saw Nolan at the island, and that there was a fight, that he had to go like away from Nolan and his group. He left the group to go see what the fight was about. So this fight that happened, that everyone is talking about, claiming that Nolan was involved in, we know he was not involved. But again, that kind of brings us to having a million questions. What led to his disappearance?
I have a million
How did
questions.
He drown?
Mm-hmm.
We know that, Ben Crump told us that he kind of touched on it a little bit in the TMZ Live clip, but Nolan took swimming lessons as a kid. He knew how to swim. He was very familiar with this island. Like I mentioned, this family lives on the coast of Mississippi. It's very common to go to this island. He knew this island well. It's not like he would be disoriented or lost. And Ben Crump had claimed that the family was given Nolan's cell phone because, like I said, it was left on the boat. And they claim that text messages from Nolan's phone were deleted. Now, what did those text messages say? Just any clues about what these, when were they deleted? When did they realize they had his phone? I mean, so many questions there that we also don't have the answers to. But as you know, we're looking into this case.
I think that the biggest obvious, first step is the autopsy, because that's going to answer most of the questions that you have. Because if you look at the possibilities, a fight on the island, you look for swelling on the face, of the body, any type of trauma on the body, which we don't know yet, right? And the family did order their own independent autopsy,
right?
Because they do not trust the Mississippi, whoever that might be,
sheriffs,
to conduct that. So they're doing all the right things. I have so many questions, like if it was a drowning, if it's clearly just a drowning, did they just leave him out? They saw him out in the water and then just drove away from him in the boat.
Yeah.
I do think it's important to know if it was a multi-night thing or if it was a one day going out, coming back. What time did they come back at? Was it nighttime?
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors here. But the deleted text messages.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
That's really interesting. And was it a race thing? Was it not a race thing?
Yeah, and the person that we had on TMZ Live today, he's also of mixed race, and he said that he didn't believe race was a factor, despite Ben Crump kind of beating the drum about that. He said that it's, everybody has, if you are mixed race in Ocean Springs, you have white friends, and that's just common out there. So he didn't feel like that was a factor, but did say that he could see why people would think that because there's a lot of unanswered questions. We know, too, that the other teens that were on the boat have gone private, allegedly have hired attorneys. So people are thinking like, man, if your friend died, why are you shutting down? You should be opening up.
So
if my friend died, I would be telling everything. I would be, just trying to get answers as well.
That may be true, but in these situations, it's always smart to hire a lawyer just in case, to protect yourself. Because if it was accidental, let's say he just went out in the ocean and drowned, a riptide or something got him, and it's just a he said she said thing. You definitely need a lawyer. But I just don't understand. Yeah, they're going private. Nobody's talking in the friend group.
But also, and also why, if you have an attorney, why can't you release a statement through your attorney?
So the friends haven't said anything.
No,
nothing. They just came back and that's it.
Just came back, didn't say anything. I believe they did talk to authorities, and again, the consensus was, we thought he was staying behind with a girl.
Gosh, you know what this reminds me of? The what's that case? Brian Laundrie, when he drove what was her name again?
Gabby Petito.
Yes, when he drove the van back to the house, went in the house and then just sat
his family
and never said a word. Just came back and he had her stuff, all these things, and didn't say a word. And look what happened. We found out that he did kill her.
Yeah. Right,
so the fact that they're not saying a dang word, like if it was something so innocent as he went out to the ocean and a riptide got him, if that happened, I would say that immediately.
Yeah, of course. And I think a lot of people would. And that's why there's a lot of suspicions revolving around the friend group. I'm trying to think of what else I could tell you.
I mean, I think we'll find out pretty soon because it's not just one person, it's 3 boys.
Yes.
And tell me if I'm wrong, but I find it hard to believe that if they did do something, that guilt is not going to get at least one of these 3 boys in the next few weeks to make them say something, to make them spill. One domino falls, the rest fall.
There is a narrative out there that the reason why these teens haven't said anything is because they were drinking out there, and they are 18 years old, and they're concerned about getting busted for underage drinking. But I mean, at a point, like, I'd rather get busted for underage drinking than like not giving information about my friend that died. So it's kind of like, I don't know that really matters at that point, getting in trouble for underage drinking. And that is a common thing. You go to this island, you pop a few beers or whatever, and you party.
I do think that in just the way I see all the facts here and the evidence, it looks like there was some type of accident. So, I mean, yes, there was an accident, but some type of accident in which they got over their heads. Something went too far. And this just looks textbook. Something went too far.
Yeah.
To me.
I mean, it's absolutely
and resulted in a death. All 3 get scared, get on the boat, and then now they're playing this like, we don't know what happened.
Yeah.
How could you not know what happened?
Totally.
It'd be like a 1% chance that you were on this island, by the way, with no shops, with no hotel, or like, we were just in the hotel room and we didn't see them.
There is nothing there.
Probably just like a beach.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yep.
So what do you have to say about that?
Totally. And
how do you get to the bottom of this? I don't know.
Yeah. And it's so sad to see the family. They went on Good Morning America crying, and a lot of support has been rallying around them. Ben Crump announced that Colin Kaepernick is going to be paying for Nolan's body to be shipped to D.C. to do that independent autopsy that you mentioned. Also, Tyler Perry is covering the funeral costs. So they have had a lot of support, but it's just so sad to see the family just desperate for answers.
Another potential theory is them coming back from the island. Is it possible, because his body washed up on shore. Is it possible that he was pushed over the boat? Maybe.
Yeah.
That there was an altercation on the boat, and
Yep.
then they pushed him over, and then just left him out there.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think there's so many theories right now that all could be the truth.
Or another, not saying I'm defending them, but it is possible, and I'm sure that there was potentially alcohol over there.
Yeah.
That Nolan could have been drinking.
Yep.
And was swimming.
Yep.
And something happened with that. And
yeah, and it doesn't matter how athletic you are if you're drunk.
They probably
can affect your swimming abilities.
Mm-hmm. They probably know that if it's found out that they were drinking and then he drowned because of his drinking, that they still get in trouble. And that's why I think they're staying quiet. That's probably, I think, the most possible scenario I can think of. But that's just me.
It's just such a sad story. So obviously we'll keep you guys updated. But let us know in the comments what you think happened.
I think we just leave it at this. I don't think. I mean, you have an interview. Let's talk.
Oh yeah, I'll make it quick. I'll make it quick. So I did an interview with Brian Johnson. You guys know who this guy is. He's like that biohacker guy. He's known for being like in his 50s, and he injects himself and does all this crazy stuff to like be young. I think he said he's like biologically like 20 or 30. So I did an interview with Brian Johnson because he revealed that he has an incurable disease. He has an autoimmune gastritis that has secretly been developing over the years. So a lot of people think it's very ironic. And here's a little bit of our conversation. There's a little bit of irony in the situation. You know, someone who's spent millions trying to optimize health discovers a disease that's been quietly progressing anyway. Yeah. How do you make sense of that?
It's wondrous. You know, like I always joke that I'm guaranteed to die by the most ironic thing possible, likely, getting hit by a bus. And that's just kind of my fate. And when it happens, I, give you all permission to laugh and to come to the funeral and say, I told you so. It's just like, that's how irony works. I've reconciled with it. Now, at the same time, I think people have a lot of legitimate emotions. I think a lot of people are very saddened by my diagnosis, which I appreciate. I think a lot of people are very happy. They see this as like the ultimate, it's a Greek tragedy. It's irony at its best. And so I understand all those emotions, and they're all fine. They're all great. Like, this is a human experience. We're all going through the same struggle. So like, no, I'm just in the thick of it with everyone. It's very, very hard to be human. I don't blame anybody for their thoughts and feelings of like, it's hard. It's very, very hard.
He has a pretty good attitude about it.
He looks really young.
Yeah, he does. And he has a boyish 48.
Look to him.
Yeah, he
very
does.
Very youthful, like face and everything.
Very nice guy. Has a very good sense of humor. Obviously about like death. I did ask him because it's so interesting. He believes he's going to live until 160 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
160. I wonder how he landed on that number.
Yeah, I don't know, actually.
It's going to be 160. Nobody.
That's at least his goal. It's his goal. I did ask, like, look, did this situation make you think about death? And he's like, no, not really. But I did say, like, well, what is your plan for when you die? You've had such an insane, like, life. What is your plan for your body when you die? Because he's all about science and research and yada, yada. I told him, I was like, I could see your body being in, like, the bodies exhibit. Mm-hmm. He said he wants to preserve his body. I imagine his body being in like a tank, just like in like water or chemicals, and just like being preserved and just being like.
It is crazy, like we do all these things, like we have our lives, and it's like at the end of the day, our entire life is essentially focused on trying to not die. Yeah. Really, it is like in every one way or another, we are fighting against the inevitable.
Yeah.
And you think 100 years from now, we all won't be here. You walk down the road, you go to the boardwalk, you go to Disneyland, you go, all these people will not be here in 100 years. And what are we worried about?
What a way to end the Friday podcast.
I'm just saying. It's like I watched that interview and it kind of hits me a little bit. It's like, here's a guy who is desperately fighting against time and inevitable.
Yeah.
And I was actually researching the past few days just about life expectancy, because I always assumed that us being young, you're in your 30s, Gen Z also is a potential to live longer. is what everybody assumes.
Just because they're younger.
But it's not the case. There's some studies that were done, and they looked at like eating habits of people that are like in their 20s, younger kids, and think about like the 60s boomers and everything. They live to like 85, 90.
Yeah.
Some are saying like life expectancy for Gen Z could be like 50, 60 because of like all the fast food that we eat, the microplastics.
Yeah, the microplastics.
Horrible nowadays.
That's so true.
Like, I look back at like 2018 to 2024, I'd be hitting Sonic. I'd be hitting McDonald's.
Sonic!
But I'm serious, like fast food. For the first 2 years here, I was eating fast food almost every single night for 2 years.
Do you feel like there's anything in the world that you would eat knowing that it would shave off days of your life, but you're like, I don't care. Like, this is bomb. Like some chicken nuggets. Corn dogs? Ew.
I love
If I could give up corn dogs for the rest of my life and be happy.
Wiener Schnitzel. Have you been there? I know.
Yeah, they have one in Glendora. Yeah, we have one in Glendora.
He does. He does, right?
Yeah, he does.
He looks like a guy that orders the chili dogs. Not saying.
Oh, he loves chili, actually. He loves chili, for sure.
Him and I need to go to Wiener Schnitzel together.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick him up.
The two of you and some wieners. Wow.
Wow. Something to think about later tonight.
Oh my gosh.
Do we have time for you guys want a couple comments read? Or?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do
Go
it.
for it.
All right.
Mortality comments.
For the
Nolan Wells.
Nolan Wells story, thank you. T-Slay4883 says nobody leaves their phone anywhere.
Yeah. I will say I was told by somebody not related to him or his group that it is very common to put your phone on the boat. You're not far from the boat.
I'll be honest though, yes, but it sounds more possible that on the boat ride back or something, they pushed him off in the boat. The phone was just in the boat.
Yeah, could be that.
That's what it feels
could be
like to me.
that.
Or he fell off drunk off the boat.
Yeah.
A couple more comments. Tandra Cook says, why didn't they immediately return his phone to his mom when they were going to tell her Nolan decided to stay?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know when the phone was given up. We don't know exactly when they told authorities or how it was, how the alert came about. We're still trying to piece together.
That's the thing. It's the phone. The phone is a real big aspect of this case because if he was staying with a girl, then he would 100% be like,
phone.
give me my phone.
For sure.
That is like, I just cannot believe that.
Yeah.
And lastly, Brandon says such a sad story.
Such a sad story. I think everyone can agree on that.
Yeah.
There's no outcome that we'll all be like, oh, okay. Like, no, we're not going to feel like that. We're going to be sad.
And I know people are going to automatically like pull the race card, but it really sounds like just like some type of like arguments or fights or accidents to me.
Yeah.
Because like you said, in Mississippi, it's not, off the cuff for
to have
a black
mixed
person
race
to have 3 or 4
friends.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
So, okay. Well, thanks, Charlie. You can listen to your full interview. It's on our TMZ Now channel.
Yep, on YouTube.
So just look it up.
Yeah, or you can catch it on Instagram, on the TMZ Instagram, or my Instagram, Charlie Neff, Neff.
Really quick, our intern,
Yeah.
Lauren,
Yeah.
has never seen the Pixar movie Cars. And I'm pretty
Put
distraught
on
over it.
blast.
I
Why
know.
gotta throw her under the bus like that?
Wow.
She hasn't seen Cars.
Crazy.
She hasn't seen.
That's your homework for this weekend, Lauren. Watch Cars. Uh-oh, Jackson's here, everybody. Hello.
You need someone?
Jackson, we need to ask you. You're 22 years old. Have you seen Cars, the Disney movie?
We were just
he
talking
says
about
yes.
it. Exactly.
Lauren has not, our intern. So
But
she's going to do some homework.
But
this
she's
weekend.
seen Forrest Gump, so that's okay. That's her redeeming
okay.
factor. Yeah.
Jenny.
But get this, she's never seen Back to the Future, but she's seen Back to the Future, the musical. Like,
Oh, okay. I've seen Back to the Future, but I don't remember it.
oh, that's my favorite
Yeah,
movie
I
of all
don't remember
time. All right, guys, we got to get out of here.
Bye. Have a great
Have
weekend.
a good one.